Cool. Kia ora koutou, ko Steph Strock, hei web content producer and analyst aho ki tamaki painga here at Auckland Memorial Museum.
Kia ora koutou, ko Anika Klee, hei senior collection manager aho. Today we're here to share the world of Keepsafes, caring for your taonga at home. A video series that empowers people at home to deliver museum-grade care to their precious items. The project is a collaboration between the museum marketing team, the collection care team, and our internal media producer extraordinaires.
The connection between people and things is a story as old as time. Since humans first put one uneasy foot after the other, we've left a trail of objects behind us. Architectural digs reveal that among the tools that have enabled us to shape the world, there have always been sentimental objects along for the ride. From trinkets to toys, precious items punctuate the human experience. Even the most minimalist of minimalists have things that they consider precious and things that they want to keep safe. Sentimental items offer us glimpses into a family or individual story, but learning to preserve them isn't always straightforward, especially when the physical components of those items may be totally unique. After all, one person's stamp collection is another person's Lego Millennium Falcon.
I'm going to have to move this down slightly. Even among the same types of items, variance between them makes a one-size-fits-all approach difficult. A wedding dress, for example, could be made of silk, polyester or lace, or any combination of different fibres. When people are seeking out information on caring for their taonga, they're putting a lot of trust on the line, trusting that any advice they apply not only keeps their item safe in that moment, but also extends its life for as long as possible. Luckily, we know a thing or two about caring for precious items. The collection care team provides guidance, knowledge and leadership to Auckland Museum, protecting our collections for generations to come. Our institutional knowledge of collection care has been developed and refined by world-class kaimahi at Auckland Museum for over 100 years. Our conservators and collection managers have expertise in interventive and preventive conservation. We create super storage solutions and are paving new ways in museum pest management and vibration detection. We're always learning and, when needed, are supported by conservators across the motu and further afield to make sure taonga are being cared for the best we can.
The idea behind Keepsafes was kickstarted by COVID. The shock of having in-person visitation totally put on pause had a really big impact on the way that we saw connections with communities. Knowledge is best when shared, but how do you do that when it's not safe or easy to do so? As a publicly funded museum, it's especially important to us that we're sharing as much knowledge, information, and opportunity for learning as possible, for the benefit of our audiences, wherever they may be. Our collection managers started brainstorming ways that we could share our collection care expertise with people at home who could then apply it to their own precious things.
I had a friend mention to me that they didn't know that sunlight damaged colour. And after seeing the spines of their cookbooks and other books fade in the sun, it was information that they wished they knew earlier. This is the type of information that we have that is worth sharing. I dislike the phrase common sense, often uttered in the negative, as it is only common when knowledge is known. Common sense is not intuition or innate, it is acquired. We are creating a safe and fun space for people to acquire knowledge.
Not every practice we use at the museum is applicable for the home. After all, we are the place Auckland's taonga is entrusted to, where we have vibration monitors, building-wide humidity control, pest control, and a team of staff to actively protect the collections. The typical household understandably does not. What we need to do is strike a balance between accessibility, accuracy, and usefulness. The goal of the content is to help people protect their precious things and, at all costs, avoid inadvertently giving advice that might damage or put your precious item at risk.
The range of topics and ideas about what we wanted to share keep coming back to focusing on minimal or no budget supplies, because it isn't realistic for us to advise people to purchase boxes and materials for hundreds of dollars. No vendor was mentioned for supplies, but it was mentioned that the museum buys specialist materials from New Zealand vendors. Using what people have around the home, what they can easily access or buy was important. Pool noodles have really been the star of these series, except for our amazing New Zealand talent. At Auckland Museum, we have a strong focus on preventive conservation, using the Canadian Conservation Institute's 10 agents of deterioration to underpin a lot of our work. And this translates well to thinking about how the public cares for their treasures at home. The agents are light, water, physical forces, pollutants, pests, incorrect temperature, incorrect humidity, fire, theft and vandalism, disassociation, and custodial neglect.
And these can be applied to caring for our treasures at home. Houses in New Zealand are often working against us. They can be damp with fluctuating temperatures and humidity, have mould, leaks, infestation of pests, and vibration from hammers, drills, earthquakes, or even children. The other danger to our collection is ourselves. A lot of the damage to cultural heritage is created by people.
We mention in every video the importance of clean hands or wearing gloves with the removal of jewellery. There's nothing worse than snagging a thread, scratching a surface, or leaving a fingerprint. Or perhaps it is that we have an item passed down through the generations, but no one thought to write down who it was from, what it was used for, why it is special, or who are all of those people in the photo, and so all of that context is lost through time.
We're in a really privileged position to have built up a following online that rivals those of major New Zealand media companies. We have over 30,000 followers on Instagram, and we just hit 80,000 on Facebook. Our TikTok is growing by the day as well. Last year, we had over 900,000 visits to the museum in person, but our combined reach on social media was 29.5 million.
We know that many resources and videos are available across Aotearoa and the world on how to care for various materials. With Keepsafes, we're not actually reinventing the wheel. The core of our information is the same or similar, and the works of others is hugely informative and important. However, the way that we're ingesting content as a society is changing, as are our attention spans. And if someone can tell me how to do something in a short video that I can save to an app that I already have on my phone, then I'm going to use that instead. We were thinking TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook for the older folks. Sorry. As well as having these available on YouTube and our own website.
With Keepsafes, we were able to work with our followers to find out what they wanted to learn about and preserve. Wedding dresses, christening gowns, photos and medals, we aggregated what was popular to set us up for our first round of videos. We settled on the name Keepsafes, a play on keepsakes and keep safe, which can sometimes be a bit of a tongue twister for the uninitiated, but having a technically nonsense name has been great for SEO. We know people's relationships with technology and social media changes over time, and people will be encountering different information in different ways, whether that's through an intentional search or more passive discovery. For this subject matter, we know that audiences can be split into two main tranches, the first being people with an immediate need, purposely seeking out our information, and the second, someone who is stumbling across the information in their feeds, whether they follow us or if they're being served it up in their algorithm. To satisfy both groups, we've made two versions of the videos, one in widescreen format for intentional discovery on desktop, and then a phone-first version to better suit formats like TikTok or Instagram.
With our formats established, we needed to make sure the videos were super accessible and that the information could be as useful as many people who found this as possible. We have to assume that viewers are encountering this type of information for the very first time. We didn't want to leave anyone behind or accidentally miss a crucial step. We do have to remember that social media is a place outside of our control, and it's important that any information that we do represent online can exist without extensive context to make it make sense. Social media is the Wild West.
It is important to us that the advice we give won't do damage, so we don't give specifics but aim for more general advice. Demystifying the work we do was an important first step. Though the team works with the 10 agents of deterioration every day, those at home would be forgiven for thinking that's the name of a metal band. The collection care team have done a fantastic job of distilling the core principles of each area of conservation and workshopping the content until it's applicable for the home environment.
Our video scripts are written over several sessions with our conservators to make sure the information we are using is correct, current, and sufficient for those at home. We try to explain complex conservation terms with simple language. An example of a conservation term is insect frass, commonly used in museums describing the excrement of insects left behind after they consume our treasures. This will be most evident to those who have seen a borer infestation where small piles of wood dust appear near the holes. This is insect poop. Clothes moths also create frass. Our description of it in our videos is dried breadcrumb-like powder or clumps. Finding something like this in your holes in your garments is an indicator of a problem. We storyboard the demonstrations with our collections and with props, and then with our scripts, locations, and talent decided, we bring in the videographers. We're lucky to have an amazing photography team at the museum, and as the needs of the organisation change and types of storytelling evolve, so do the capabilities of that team. The photographers have been upskilling as videographers and us too as producers.
We felt it was important to use internal talent to front the videos. It's a good way to spotlight the expertise of our kaimai, and lends a trustworthy and personable face to the information. Though we love having real staff fronting the videos, it does sometimes take a little extra work as not everyone has the same level of comfort presenting information on camera. It's been a valuable experience learning to provide the support everyone needs to present their expertise in a way that they can feel proud of.
Presenting information is a learned skill like any other, and even when using a tool like the teleprompter, it is amazing how quickly the relief of not having to remember a script can turn into the fear of not being able to keep up with the teleprompter, or outracing it. And each time we changed the script slightly, we would have to reload it, taking up precious minutes of our back-of-house spaces needed for BAU museum mahi. Oftentimes it was words that were repeated or phrases that were tongue twisters. That were the problems. Some, though, became catchphrases, such as adding padding, that will never be forgotten.
Armed with this experience, we've shaped our production schedules to be heavier on the pre-production side, ironing out kinks in the scripts before the added pressure of the camera. We have table reads and physical run-throughs, all where necessary, even avoiding speaking directly to the camera altogether. This has meant that our process is now a lot more streamlined. It has been a labour of love for our photographers/videographers too, running through footage to find the best takes and stitching these together, removing awkward pauses and finding the small moments that make our videos shine, such as the small dance at one of the end of the first ones. We're very grateful to them for putting in this effort and creating such beautiful videos. Oh, dirty word.
Yeah, sorry about the impact. Historically, museums have been known to be holders of knowledge and a source of trustworthy truths. And as museums grow and change and our audiences grow and change with us, we also want to make sure our knowledge is able to be shared with as many people as possible and as many ways as possible. Knowledge is best when shared, and empowering the public was our goal.
As an organisation, we're constantly exploring new ways to do this. It's important to grow with change rather than against it, which we've been embracing wholeheartedly. Our topics so far have been storing photographs, labelling photographs, caring for metals, preventing damage at home, introducing the 10 agents, and introduction to textiles, storing your flat textiles, and storing your special garments. The videos that we would like to rehash with further examples of materials that the public can use, while also giving demonstrations of how they can use them, will be the early ones, about photographs and medals, which will also likely turn into ephemera and paper document one, as personal archives has come up quite a bit. Unfortunately, social media is currently a pay-to-play environment, and going viral organically with this content matter is probably not on our horizon, but we do boost posts where we can to grow awareness from the outset. We work to keep up with changing tastes. Attention spans are getting shorter, and AI is now condensing information when people search for it. We are continuing to refine our content and message and have come back around to the minimal or no budget themes, with one of our latest videos showing our textile conservator Stephanie expertly cutting up a pool noodle to cover a clothes hanger. It's safe to say many people here today are probably hanging their clothes at home the way they always have, on a wooden, plastic or wire hanger, but the unfortunate reality is those hangers are actually really bad for your clothes. Clothes were made to be worn on a three-dimensional body with the help of our rising star, the pool noodle, you can adapt your existing hangers into something that better protects your garments. The small moment had a large impact on the project team, as telling people they can use it didn't have the same oomph as showing people what to do. And revisiting some of our first videos to remake them into more practical episodes will be our way forward. Many tutorials with voiceovers are a great way to inspire people to try out one of our practices at home before they recognise damage happening. We have a list of videos to make, and we still accept suggestions from the public. People have asked us to cover caring for korowai and other traditional Māori textiles. These are something we'll be working on in the coming months with our wealth of internal expertise. We also plan to put out more general information videos about hazards in the home, like what to do when your precious heirloom poses a risk, such as gas masks and toys with lead paint. Internally, curators have been able to leverage the videos as a resource as well. We're privileged to be offered people's precious items for our collections, but we're not always able to accept them. But the items that we are unable to accept are no less important than those that we do, and we would still like to extend our care to them. These videos have been a great resource for this, and staff can direct members of the public to them to ensure their longevity and protection without our direct interventions.
We're in a unique position as a trusted source of information, and it's been a joy to offer content that is free, helpful and reliable. The goal is to keep that shared information exchange going between us and the communities of Auckland, wherever they might be. A museum in 2025 isn't the same as it was 20 years ago. We know that people's connection with taonga is where the importance lies, and it's an exciting opportunity to share the resources we have and manaaki those at home.
Thank you very much.
So quick.
Ngā mihi nui for that. Thank you so much. I love that the pool noodle was the breakout star. That's fantastic. We don't have any questions in the Slido, but we do have time for a question if there is anyone in the room who would like to ask something. Otherwise, I can just ask really, really quickly if there's a video that's your personal favorites.
I quite like the caring for your three-dimensional textiles, just because we have beautiful clothing in the collection and we get to spotlight some of those, and that's where the adding padding originates from, because you can't crease your clothing for too long without damaging it permanently. You probably know more about this.
Anything with the pool noodle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a breakout star.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate it.